Role of sheep and goat farming sector in Indian economy. As we know, India lives in villages, and in villages, major occupation of most of the rural people is agriculture and livestock farming. Among the various livestock enterprises, sheep and goat farming play an important role in Indian economy that provides livelihood security, nutritional security, food security, of particularly weaker section of the society, particularly in arid, semi-arid, and mountainous regions. Livestock farming sector in India, one of the fastest growing agricultural subsector, and the growth of the livestock sector is due to the high demand of the livestock products, and that is controlled by the human population, urbanization, and increasing income, particularly in developing countries. Livestock system has both positive and negative effects on natural resource, public health, and economic growth. Let's have a look on livestock scenario. Livestock sector contributes 6.2% on total GDP of India and nearly 31% in agricultural GDP. India is first in livestock population with 535.78 million. India's share is 15% in world's goat population and 6% in world sheep population. India is second in goat population and third in sheep population. And Rajasthan holds first position in goat population and fourth position in the sheep population, according to the 20th livestock census in 2019. Have a look on the livestock population. Here we can see the three censuses in 2007, 2012, and 2019. Here is a decline in the 2012 census. Among the 65% and 95% of sheep and goat population that is located in the developing countries, and 53% of the developing countries sheep and goat population that is found only in the Asia. And Asia, Africa, Europe, America, and Australia, and New Zealand are the major sheep and goat rearing countries in the world. Sheep and goats, as we know, they are the earlier domesticated animals. They provide meat, milk, fiber, skins for manure, research, and vegetation control. Buffalo is considered as the sheep ancestors, and Bajor is considered as the goat ancestors. And sheep and goats both are classified as the small ruminants, along with the cervids and sometimes camelids. Here is the difference on production parameters like reproductions. Sheep has a shorter Easter cycle, more difficult to AI, and on nutrition parameters, lower maintenance requirement, and more susceptible to copper toxicity than goat. And on lactation parameters, sheep has shorter lactation length than the goat. Sheep and goat husbandry play an important role in rural economy. Goat and sheep are also known as poor man's cow, refrigerator for farmer, ATM or bank farmer. And by providing meat, milk, skin, wool, manure, and hair, they provide as a financial resource to the rural people. Have a look on this trend. We can see the more than 3/4 population, goat and sheep population, are reared by the landless, marginal, and small farmers. In India, 3/4 population are reared by the landless, marginal, and small farmers. Here we can see the income contribution in the large farmer, that is through the sale of the milk. And in case of landless, marginal, and small farmers, income is contributed mainly through the sale of the animals. Here we can see the sheep and goats have a dual role in production of breeding stock and food animals. And sheep and goats requires lowest investment and more returns in comparison to other enterprises. Here are some pros and cons of the sheep and goat industry. It requires low investments, easy to raise and manage, low feed requirement. Sheep and goat are highly disease resistant. Market potential is high, easy to transport. And cons of the industries are low fertility rate, poor work capacity, involuntary culling, reduction food intake, lower weight gain, lower milk production, and higher production cost, and mortality that is high due to the parasitic infection. Let's have a quick overview on the production and population statistics. Here we can see goat contributes 28% in the India's livestock population, and sheep contribute 14% in the India's livestock population. Here in this pie chart, we can see the meat contribution. Sheep contributes nearly 10% and goat contributes nearly 14% in the total meat production by the India. Here we can see the total India's total meat production, that is 9.29 million ton, and per capita consumption is 6.82 kilogram per annum. That is the meat production by all these species. Here we can see the wool production, that is mostly contributed by the ewes, that is 64%, then after ram, and in the last lamb. Here we can see the declining trend of the wool production from 14.6 in 2015-16 to 13.13 in 2021-22. Here we can see the milk contribution in India. Major contribution by cattle, that is 52%. Buffalo contributes 45%, and goat contributes only 3% in the total milk production of the India. Here we can see the India's milk production in the current year, that is 221 million ton, and per capita consumption, per capita availability of milk is 444 gram per day. Here we can see the sheep population, that is 74.26, and that is increasing trend than the last census. Here we can see the top 10 states in the sheep population. First is Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Here we can also Rajasthan holds the fourth position in the sheep population. Here we can see there is a sharp increase in the population of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and there is a sharp decrease in the population of Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh than the previous census. Here is the goat population, that is 148.88, and it is also showing the increasing trend than the last census. Here are the top 10 states in goat populations. Rajasthan is first in goat population, but unfortunately Rajasthan and UP are showing the declining change in the last census, and rest of the states showing the tremendous growth in the livestock in the goat population. So on sheep farming in India, as we know, sheep is a small ruminant. Sheep contributes 8.5% of total value of output from livestock economy. Sheep are the essential component of mixed farming system in India, and sheep are mostly reared on the natural vegetations, stubbles of cultivated crops, and top feeds. And sheep provides meat, milk, fiber, and skin. China, Australia, and India. China is first in sheep population, second is Australia, and third is India. These are the major sheep economy countries. Sheep, they provide the mutton and wool, and that is a huge demand in the local and global market. Major role of the live animals and mutton is required in the local markets. And in India, particularly in developing countries, the sheep is rearing on subsistence agriculture basis rather than on a trade basis. Shepherds' major income, it comes from the mutton, and then after it comes through the wool, and 20 to 40% of wool income, the role is that is in the national income. And present scenario of sheep farming in the country. So India is a rich source of diverse bovine surplus, and only very few countries have large number of breeds with wide genetic diversity. Among the livestock owners, we can easily say that shepherds are the poorest. And there is an export market for the wool and wool products and mutton, also for the sheep skin. Here we can see the statistical scenario in case of sheep. World's greasy wool production, that is 1949.5 million kg, and that after clean, that is 1033.5 million kg. And top wool producers in the world, first one is Australia, China, and New Zealand. And India ranks 10th in the wool production. India's wool production is the 33.13 million kg. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana has reported zero wool production. That has completely trend has been shifted to the meat production, because there is no wool producing breeds available in the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. When we talk about the top 5 wool producing states, number 1 is Rajasthan, then comes to Jammu and Kashmir, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Himachal Pradesh. And among all the states, only Rajasthan produces 46% of the total wool of the India. India's meat production, that is 9.29, and India ranks 8th in the world in the meat production. India's sheep meat production, that is 960 million kgs, and that contributes nearly 10% of the total meat production. And top 5 mutton producing states, that are the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, these two states contribute 60% of the total mutton of all India. Global sheep and meat production, that is 16.2 million tons. India is the largest exporter of sheep meat to the world. India has exported 695.97 million ton sheep and goat meat. That is value of the $60 million. And major export countries are UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Maldives, Saudi Arab, and Oman. World sheep population, that is 1,263 million. Asia's sheep population, that contributes nearly 43%, that is 547 million. India's sheep population is 74.26 million, and we are second after the China. There are 44 registered or certified breeds of the sheep in India, according to NBAGR. And there are 8 breeds: Chokla, Jaisalmeri, Magra, Malpura, Marwadi, Nalis, Pugal, and Sonadi from the Rajasthan. Number of registered slaughterhouses in India are 906. Number of wool grading centers in India is 13. Number of sheep grading farms in India, 77. And export of live sheep and goats contributes in the income 65.6 crores. And income from export of the meat of sheep and goats, that is nearly 450 crores. We know sheep provides wool, sheep provides meat, sheep provides income through live sheep in the that are used in the youth programs, agricultural shows, and farmers sell their purebred animals. They can provide their ram on rent basis for the breeding purpose. They can earn income through rental of flocks for grazing. They can earn income through sheep skin. Byproducts of sheep also having the value, like sheep fallow, that is used for the candle and soap making. Sheep bone and cartilage are used for the dyes and button makings and glue and gelatins. Sheep intestine that is used for the sausage casings, and sheep droppings are used the coat paper industry. And the most important, sheep lanolin, that is the waterproof fatty substance that is used in the cosmetic products. Here are the advantage of sheep farming. Why we should start the sheep farming? Sheep do not need initial investment, so we can start with the low investments. And sheep are economical converter of the grass that convert grass into meat and wool. Sheep will they are the excellent weed destroyer. The production of wool, meat, and manure provides 3 different sources of the major income. And the mutton, that is one kind of meat, that is there is no prejudice among the community in India or in the world. So reason for after the huge scope of the sheep farming, there are the certain constraints of bottlenecks in the low productivity of Indian sheep. Here are some technical constraints that are poor availability of quality rams, low consumption rate, lack of knowledge on nutrition, inadequate knowledge on disease management system, high rate of abortions in sheep, constraints with inputs, high cost of feed, throughout availability of the feed, unavailability of medicines, high cost of medicines, and water scarcity. we can see the farmers move or migrate in search of food and water. Issues with market, low wool prices. There is no organized market for wool, no regular market, poor infrastructure of the market, and lack of market information. And social problems, low literacy rate of the farmers, because these are the mostly reared by the weaker sections of the societies, mostly are the illiterates. So there are low prestige issues because they when we start to rear the sheep and goat farming, it is having a social taboo. Here we can see the SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, and opportunity and threats in the sheep industry. What are the strengths? India is second highest number of sheep and goat after China. Hardy nature of the sheep and goats, control of weeds through grazing of animals. We have good indigenous breed with good potential. Veterinary infrastructure is quietly sufficient. Marketing potential of wool and meat is high, and we are exporting the meat to the other countries, and low production cost. Weakness are the unorganized market or organized sector, lack of marketing infrastructures. There is absence of public-private partnership, lack of demand driver interventions, poor technical trainings to the sheep farmers, low income productivity or production efficiency, lack of manpower in traditional system for grazing on the pasture lands, absence of sufficient system of financial support, and inadequate veterinary and extension services, particularly for the sheep and goat farming, because these sectors are the neglected sector. So scarcity of good breeding stocks, and in opportunity, rising demand of the products for the mutton and wool products. Low startup cost, initial cost is very low. Integrated systems of farming and mixed species of farming. Goat and sheep farming are the best option for the integrated or mixed farming system. And untapped potential for the export and value added products. There is a paradigm shift in the government policies and modern production technology that the various types of products are available. We can prepare the meat sausage for the sheep and goat meat. And threats, extreme climatic conditions and natural calamities, in the particularly in Rajasthan's drought conditions, and due to the climate change, natural calamities are mostly coming. Invasion of disease, certain outbreak of the various diseases that are the big threat to the sheep and goat industry. Depletion of the natural resources, pasture land, because of the overgrazing, urbanizations, and tax regulations for the marketing. Here we can see the goat farming in India. Goat is the poor man's cow and future animal. We have already talked that goat is also a key role in the livelihood security and income of the small farmers. And goat rearing is the second most important activity after the in the livestock sector. And Chevon is also the most preferred and widely consumed meat in the country. Here we goat are reared for the Chevon production, fiber, manure, and skin and milk production. And we know goat milk has the medicinal property that is good for the human health, and goat milk is easily digestible. We can see the increasing demand of goat meat, milk, and fiber in the local or international market. Starting goat farming is the future hope for employment generation. There is a huge scope where we can start as entrepreneurs the goat farming. Nutritional security and prosperity is also attached. And goat husbandry is commercially viable enterprises. Goat farming has huge opportunity in the rural development. At almost 2/3 of the population in the rural India rears the goat and sheep. Goat rearing is the part-time self-employment that doesn't affect your main occupation. Recently we can see the large farmers or progressive farmers or many businessmen or industries are entering in the goat farming sector. Goat rearing has been found equally rewarding under both intensive and semi-intensive in case of commercial goat production system. Here we can see the Black Bengal, Osmanbadi, Barbary, and Goat breeds are the excellent in Chevon quality production. And the major milk producing goat breeds are the Jamnapari, Teetal, and Jakrana, and Surti. Changthanchi, Chegu, and Gadi have the good potential for fiber and pasmina production. Here we can see the nutritional value of Chevon. That is particularly Chevon is rich. Chevon is rich in the vitamin B12 and iron, and is low in the calorie or cholesterol. So it is good for the consumption of the BP patients. And goat milk is easily digestible, and it is a easily replacement for the people that have the allergy to cow milk. And goat milk is low in cholesterol, that is good for the blood pressure patients, and goat milk is low in sugar, that is good for the diabetic patients. Here we can see the statistic scenario. World's goat population is 1,128 million. Asia's goat population is 579 million, and India's goat population is 148 million. That is second after the China. India first in milk production in the world. India is having first position in goat milk production, and India contributes 3% of the total milk production by the goat. Total 5 goat milk producing states are the Rajasthan. Rajasthan is first in goat milk production, followed by UP, MP, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. There are 37 characterized breeds of goat, in which 7 breeds are found in the Rajasthan. And India's meat production, that is 9.29 million tons by all species, and we have 8th position in the world. And India's goat meat production 12.7 lakh tons, that is that has nearly 14% contribution in the total meat production. India is the second largest producer of goat meat and goat skin. First in goat milk production, India, and second in largest producer of goat meat and goat skin. And India is largest exporter of goat meat to the world. Highest goat meat producing in the state by the West Bengal, and number of goat feeding farms in the India are 160. Here we can see the increasing trend of the livestock of the goat population, except there is a decline in the 2012 census. Here we can see the breed share by the goat population, and Black Bengal shares nearly 15% than other breeds. Percentage share of the Chevon production, West Bengal is higher. West Bengal contributes nearly 25% of the total Chevon by the produce in the India. Here we can see the goat meat production trend. Here is the increasing trend. Value of sheep, goat, and meat that are exported by India to the other countries. And here is the declining trend in the export of goat and sheep meat. Here we can see in the first graph, we can see the Asia is the Asia is the high in the goat meat production, and in China, China is the leading country in the goat meat production. Here we can see also in the third graph, we can see the increasing trend of the goat meat production. Why we should rear the goat? As we know, the goat are the multi-purpose animals. Goat are the prolific breeders. Goat are very fit to small-scale productions. There is a mortality issue in large-scale production. So this is the fear. There is a zero or initial investment is low. Particularly in broad areas, we can easily rear the goat. And goat are reared on the thorny bushes and grazing of weeds, etc. Goat adaptability is high in agroclimatic conditions, all type of agroclimatic conditions. Goat meat and milk has no religious taboo. Goat meat is, we have already talked that it is low in cholesterol, and goat are 2.5 times are more economical than sheep on free range system. Status of goat industry in the India. Goat are associated with man since long back. Goat industry in India yet to be we are not rearing these goat on scientific lines. So here is the big fear of the mortality in goat large scale farmers. And largest goat milk producing countries is India, that followed by Bangladesh and Sudan. During last few decades, we can see there is a young entrepreneurs are entering in the goat industry. Herd and flocks of large size are reducing due to gradual sinking of the grazing lands in the almost all the regions of India. Here are the opportunities in goat productions. Good genetic resource base. We have nearly 30, recently 3 breeds have already registered by Rajasthan. That is 37. Prolific goat are prolific nature, low investments, and it is easily reared by the family managed farming system. And the non-vegetarian, we can see the recent change, the non-vegetarian population of human is increasing, and wider acceptance. There is no social taboo in consumption of the goat meat. Unique property of the goat milk and commercial farming system option is also available. Here are the challenges in goat production. Incomplete exploitation of genetic potential. Large population are the non-descriptive. Non-reproductive efficiency, indiscriminate and unplanned crossbreeding, slaughter at the young age. These are the major challenges. Shrinkage of the pasture land, climate change that affects the fodder and feed availability. Insufficient veterinary health care. Out of the 20,000 livestock, there is only 1 veterinarian. Lack of awareness about good germplasm. Middleman means there is the middleman exploitation because it is the completely unorganized marketing sector. Negligible interest for use of the goat milk. Fading interest of youth of the particularly of the farming community. They don't want to continue the goat farming or sheep farming to their children. Insufficient organized financial support, or then rapid conservation of the goat producers into trades. Here are some key strategies that can enhance the production and productivity, both in the case of the goat and the sheep production. To increase the production and productivity, here are some strategies. Genetic improvement of indigenous goat through open nucleus breeding system, and strengthening of goat breeding farms. Under the open nucleus breeding system, here is the nucleus is created where the good pure breeds are entered, and they are crossbred with the good quality of exotic breeds, and the kids are supplied to the villagers for the upgrading of the their germplasm. Strategy to meet demand of the goat meat and milk. Increasing the high genetic merit potential of the way of the introduction of through artificial insemination, embryo transfer technology, or modern breeding techniques. Here are the major constraints of sheep and goat production. Scarcity of feed, that is genetic resources are diminishing due to the increasing in cropping land, overgrazing, and bush encroachment. Lack of infrastructure due to the transportations. Sheep and goats are required to move from one place to another places, so it's a big issue. High mortality rate, due to, nearly 1/4 of the animals are died due to the outbreak of the diseases. Inadequate veterinary coverage results is high in mortality and morbidity, and long marketing channels. There is the exploitation by the middlemen, and there are no recognized markets or organized markets in the goat or sheep industry. Low product quality. Because of the incidence of the diseases or other cases, there are the poor quality of meat. So absence of inadequate provision of credit services. Farmers don't know where to they should go for the credit support. Low average reproductive rates. Nearly 55% of the kids and lambs born per 100 mature animals. This is the reproductive efficiency. Poor productivity and lack of scientific knowledge. Sheep and goat production as a business venture. When we start the sheep and goat production as a business enterprises, we should think about the production analysis, marketing analysis, and financial analysis. Production analysis is the most important analysis, in which we think over the percentage of lamb and kid per crop, lamb and kids produced per eve and doe. We note that weight of the weaning of lambs and kids, feed consumed per head. And in marketing analysis, we analyze the availability of market inputs and products, market calendar, market facilities, and market information. And in financial analysis, we analyze the profitability and loss in the sheep and goat enterprises. We have talked that there is a huge potential of sheep and goat industry in the India. To harness the maximum potential of elite breeds of the goat and sheep, we should follow the proper strategies to enhance the production and productivity by sheep and goat farming. So first, we should do the upgradation of the breed. So it is urgent requirement that is we should upgradation of the breed. Most of the breeds in sheep and goats are reared are the non-descriptive. So we should upgrade our breed. And second strategies to harness the maximum potential of the sheep and goat industry, development of newer generation diagnostic techniques to diagnose the or fast analysis of the diseases, and vaccination and alternative therapies for the important diseases. We can also use the indigenous technical knowledge programs. In case of third strategies, nutritional strategies, there is a big issue of the pasture land management. There is a continuous shrinking of the pasture land, natural vegetations around the year. The round the year availability of the feed is a big problem. So strategies should be planned on the efficient nutrition utilization and feed and water availability throughout the year. And fourth strategies, we should give on the value addition of the products and quality control. Here we can see there is a huge scope of the goat and sheep products in the not only in the national but in the international market. So we can the new entrepreneurs or young entrepreneurs can start the value addition and the processing of the meat and prepare the many products. So value addition is very more important. And the extension strategies for the transfer of technologies in this sector particularly are the very poor. In dairy industry and poultry sector, the transfer of technology techniques are very good. But in case of sheep and goat industry, the transfer of technology techniques by the extension agents are neglected. So we should train the proper human resource persons so that they can further train to the farmers at their villages. Or entrepreneurial training programs we should start it, particularly the unemployed rural youth in the major goat and sheep population states. The ICT, we can now, it's the era of the ICT, information and communication technology. We, with the help of the information and communication technology, we can reach to the through each and every corner with a short time period. And we can contact to the rural farmers or at the international level at the farmer. So by the introduction of the ICTs like radio and television programs or mobile based technology, or we can also formulate the veterinary officers, they work as the extension agents. They can formulate the WhatsApp groups. They can upload the Hindi video or local language videos on the YouTubes for the easy information or and secure information or scientific information on goat and sheep farming. So these are the key strategies to harness the maximum potential of sheep and goat industry. So in the last, I would like to conclude that sheep small ruminants are the subsistent to rural production that helps in the poor reductions and a big role in the Indian economy, particularly in the rural economy. Small ruminant sector till now has been neglected and unorganized. So that is a very key issue and that should be taken on the priority. there is a need of the streamlining of the sector. That is the neglected sector. That was the neglected sector till now. So, but there is a need of the hour of the streamlining of this sector and addressing the major issues related or associated with the goat and sheep production. We should emphasize or strengthen the research programs that were based on the problems or interest of the farmers or sheep and goat cultivators. We need to educate the farmers on scientific baselines of the sheep and goat production, transfer of technology with the ICT tools in the modern era, and improve animal health programs should be conducted, because the mortality or morbidity issue is very high in case of sheep and goats. There is a need of value chain support system, so that we can timely exploit the potential of the growing demands. Or we can set a equilibrium between the demand and supply of the goat and meat products. Farmers Indian farmers that at the small scale farmers or landless laborers that they start the breeding unit, then they can establish the breeding unit that will not affect their major occupation. By incorporation of these suggestions, we can harness the maximum potential of the sheep and goat industry. Thank you.